A lot of presidents, you look at their birth charts, they have this same alignment that you do. Barack Obama has this in his birth chart.
Am I gonna be a president?
My name is Danny Santos, professional astrologer, tarot reader, Reiki healer, and I'm a spiritual life coach.
I'm Liana, digital content producer. I love all things wellness, spirituality, nature, beauty, fashion.
Today we're going to be focusing on using things like astrology, tarot, sound healing, and Reiki to help bring wellness to your life. And we'll do a little consultation to just have a conversation about what's going on with you so we can cater the session to you best. And if you just want to tell me where you're at with your wellness right now.
I've just been very much interested in finding tools to help me cope with my anxiety during the pandemic. I actually became a foster mom overnight to my sister's 3 kids. Managing 3 kids and a career as a producer was not the easiest. I never really saw myself as a mother. I went through a little bit of, I guess, like a depression, just like mourning my old life. And I don't think I had time to process it because I was just in it and I had to be strong. You know, I had to be mommy. I'm glad I'm on the other side of it now. What I'm looking for today is just an overall sense of peace and happiness, just overall like ground back into my body.
I absolutely love your response because it reflects just how genuine and kind and open of a person you are. You're somebody who's naturally giving. We gotta say, if you're giving so much, you need to have your cup full so that you can drink from it as well.
Could we give a little bit of insight into each modality that we'll be doing today?
We're going to start with the astrological birth chart. By starting with the birth chart, this gives us an opportunity by using your date of birth, city of birth, and exact time of birth. We draw the blueprint of where the stars were when you were born. That blueprint shows us your life. It's your habits, it's your instincts, your reactions, your career, your love life, it's everything. So we look at this birth chart as a guiding point to say that's your life on autopilot. And if anxiety's in there, let's work on that. How do we use that birth chart to highlight what the issue is? Is it a social anxiety, a family anxiety? Where does it come from? Whereas the tarot, that card is a mirror. And how do we use that unconscious mind to bring forward your shadows, the work that you need to do? I do believe there can be a little predictive element in there too. I think that your spirit guides and your spiritual team will come through and help guide us in that direction.
Some people could be skeptical or, just even curious to learn how it works and why it works.
When it comes to things like astrology and tarot, we can look to Carl Jung or Sigmund Freud. These are psychologists that really use these kinds of modalities as a way to understand ourselves deeper. So with Sigmund Freud, he would use the tarot to help draw out the unconscious mind of his clients as a way to kind of psychoanalyze them. When you pull that card, it's a mirror for what's really going on in your mind. Whereas Carl Jung, he says all events in life are interconnected. This concept of synchronicity. When you walk down the street and you see that penny on the ground and it makes you think of something and there's that connection to source or the universe, that's kind of the spiritual side of things. We flip that card, it was meant for you in that moment. So whether you believe in the spiritual aspect of it or the scientific side of it, I think these are definitely useful. I think this is a wonderful point for us to jump into the astrology and the tarot to gain a little bit more insight. Let's go for it.
Let's go.
When we look at the astrological birth chart, this is, like I said, the blueprint of where the planets were when you were born. So there's this big term out there called the big 3. So this is your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign. So do you know what yours are?
I am a Leo rising, Scorpio sun, and a Capricorn moon.
When we think about Leo rising people, that is that energy. When you enter a room, the eyes go to you. Leo rising is great for performance, creativity, the entertainment industry, and art. Whereas that Scorpio sun, that's a totally different flavor because that's more about intensity, transformation, and magnetism. And how are you constantly being destroyed and rebirthed in this lifetime? Do you feel that experience at all?
Yes. I feel like I've lived like 10 lives.
Your experience of feeling like you've lived many lives is very common. Scorpio is about transformation. It is how do we rebirth ourselves and reinvent ourselves to master the things that we're going towards. Scorpio is also an incredible teacher to show us about what it means to shed the trauma of your ancestors. We will also see that Scorpio being born into a family where you will change the perceptions of your parents and generational ties and habits and patterns. You're going to be the one to break the karmic cycles. Of course, you're going to experience a lot of anxiety. That's a lot of pressure to put on yourself. And you were actually born at the exact conjunction between Mars and Pluto and the sun in Scorpio. So Mars and Pluto rule Scorpio. 3 planets in Scorpio right on top of each other.
The universe was like, Scorpio!
So you will feel the experience of being a Scorpio much deeper than most. Whereas then we have the moon in Capricorn. So in astrology, the moon sign represents what Freud would call the id. It's our unconscious response. It's the way that we react to life. It's our emotions and our inner world. When the moon is in Capricorn, this makes somebody really restrict their emotions. You have a hard time allowing yourself the permission to feel. Capricorn is really highly emphasized because that is your destiny sign in this lifetime.
Okay.
At this lifetime, you have to become a career woman. Like, it's all about achievement, self-esteem, self-worth, feeling like you are deserving of the things that come towards you in this life. So when the North Node and the planet Uranus are conjunct in a birth chart, this typically reflects as a world leader. A lot of presidents, you look at their birth charts, they have this same alignment that you do. Barack Obama has this in his birth chart.
Am I gonna be a president?
Maybe, girl, maybe you gotta get into that political landscape. As a humanitarian, as a leader, somebody who's a voice for the people.
Totally. That makes sense why Rihanna is my idol.
You're here to creatively express yourself, and here we are. But when we have the destiny in one place, the past life and the shadow in this lifetime are in the opposite point of the birth chart.
Okay.
So the opposite sign of Capricorn is Cancer. Cancer is the archetype of the mother. The opposite placement of the 5th house is the 11th house. If the 5th house is all about your personal expression, the 11th house is humanitarianism. So this means your South Node, or your past life or your shadow, is focused on being the proverbial mother, taking others in, healing the world. Everything you're describing about taking in your sister's kids, it's literally part of your soul's work. You've been the mother. You were probably like a birth mother in a past life, somebody who was like a nurse where you were taking care of other children. In this lifetime, you're here to transition away from being the proverbial mother, and you actually got to be the archetypal father.
Wow.
So that's like the career, and it's you're providing, you're giving room for other people to be able to expand themselves by your own example. When we talk about anxiety specifically, we always have to see the planet Mercury and what is it doing. Mercury rules the mind. Jupiter's in Virgo, that's a very anxious sign naturally. Jupiter in Virgo, Mercury in Sagittarius, they're a little bit at war with each other. So you might have this tendency when you're feeling out of control to try to reach for things near you as a distraction.
What would you say is a good spiritual practice?
Mindfulness meditation is a good one. The number one tip I would give for someone like you when I see this in your birth chart is you need to connect with your breath. You might actually have a tendency—
I'm not breathing right now.
I know. You might actually have a tendency to hold your breath.
I do hold my breath. It's control.
Let's take a breath together. Just in through the nose, out through the mouth. If you're not breathing, you're dying.
And then that's why I'm panicking and having anxiety, because I'm dying.
So this is a natural anxiety response. Your body thinks you're literally dying. So you need to remember that you're alive and breathe. You have Venus in Libra. Venus is all about beauty, and Libra is right at home. Paired with that Leo rising, she's beautiful, she's gorgeous, she knows how to work it and make things look good. By learning to think of breath as a form of beauty. When you breathe, you're beautiful. You're just enhancing your beauty by your breath. The last thing I want to talk about in your birth chart is your career. You're about to have 18 months of career gold.
Yay!
Your career placement's in Taurus.
Okay.
This is the opposite of Scorpio. In your career, you're going to find stability. You feel secure. You feel safety. What do you think of all of this?
I'm very happy and relieved to hear the word stability. I think I just need to really own the work that I'm doing and know that it's valuable.
Just as you're healing your anxiety, you're bringing this platform to others to do the same.
I love that.
I love your birth chart.
Yay, me too.
I think this is a good place for us to transition talking about the tarot.
Let's do it.
I had you shuffle the deck beforehand to save us a little time
I put all my Lily energy in there.
Yes, Lily girl, let's see what's going on. The first card that we have is the Fool. And when we think about this card, it represents the ultimate resetting of karma. It is like a rebirthing card. In a sense of like feeling refreshed, renewed. It's not the Scorpio rebirth. Don't be fooled by the name. The Fool has a lot of wisdom because he is fresh. He's got this sense of no matter what we go through in life, we are able to still be excited about it. The next card that we look at is the Six of Wands. So this is the card of success. And this tells me that you are moving in the right direction. Everything's coming up with roses. In the tarot, 6 represents balance, beauty, and harmony. Whereas the wands represent our passion, it's our self-expression and our sexuality. There is an energy here where you need to be seen and shown.
Yes.
But if we look at the past, so one of the cards that we're seeing here actually has to do with abandonment. And if we're talking about anxiety, this idea of impermanence. When you have something that's dear to you, there's a fear of losing things. When we think about this 5 of Swords card, 5s in the tarot represent chaos. Swords represent our mind, chaos of the mind.
Wow.
And this is due to this sense of feeling left behind or not seen or not properly cared for. And as we go a little bit deeper in this, we have the energy of divorce showing up. So the Hierophant reversed. When this card is upright, it represents sacraments like marriage.
Wow.
Reversed, it represents divorce. Are your parents divorced?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So that's actually something that's a very prominent part of your anxiety.
Wow.
The abandonment, the fear of not being properly cared for or taken care of. And this is a shadow for you that's part of that south node in Cancer in your birth chart. The proverbial mother, the relationship with your own mother.
Yes.
And you're trying to care for the humanitarian sphere, the world, your sister's children, as a way to provide the love and care that maybe you didn't necessarily feel like you were receiving at all times. Does that make sense to you?
So much.
And what Scorpios do is they do break those generational ties.
Yeah.
So even though your parents had that experience, that doesn't mean that you are like destined to go through the same thing that they are. So when we look at the present in the tarot, the card that we have is Justice. This is the card of balance, and it's all about relationships. You are actually doing incredible work in terms of this karmic journey of your experience early on was very extreme. You were feeling fragmented. You're bringing those fragmented parts of yourself back together. Before me, I see a confident, beautiful, and powerful woman. And that energy of justice says you're here to be that advocating voice to give other people the confidence to be the same. And when we look at the future, we have the sun. So the sun is all about being who you are, not feeling ashamed, guilty, or bogged down by negative emotions like anxiety. A lot of times anxiety stems from the story that we tell ourselves. But when we use a means like the tarot or the birth chart, your story is one of vibrancy and brightness. And if you can let go of that programming, that neural pathway that's naturally connected and reprogram your mind to understand you're coming up roses.
Yay.
You're gonna be okay. How does that feel?
I feel good. I feel happy.
I think this is a beautiful expression of what's coming next for you, some things to digest on and think about, and you're gonna move in a beautiful direction from here. I feel this for you.
Yay.
The astrology reflects it too, so you're right on brand, baby.
Okay. I feel relieved. I feel like I could just take a breath. It's gonna be okay.
I think it will too.